Shalom Aleichem, Mishpikah. This is your host with the most. That's right. This is the one. I am the one. Listen, no, you're not entering into the truth session, but hold on. You're getting ready to hang out with the one, the apostle, the prophet. Yes, that's right. Listen, we're going to talk about some things. I'm just doing a pop-up. Normally, I don't, but this is a time in the season that I really feel pressed in my spirit to do some random pop-ups, and to my staff has really been on me like, hey, you're going to have to really kind of become more visual, to give more information, because the transformation that we need to go through, you have a fragment of it, and there are others that have a fragment of it also, and they're going to need your fragment. So you're going to have to speak some things. So I thought that before we get into this session, I thought that it would be befitting if we smudged or burn some sage, according to our very own pastor there in Atlanta. You all know I normally don't call names, and I don't try to set people out. But I think that when you are deliberately deceiving people, I think that you have to say something. Jamal Bryant and New Birth, I think it is, there in Atlanta, spoke about sage being of Diablo or Hasatan or the devil. But let's get into this. I'm gonna let us populate just a little bit. Hey Marsha. Hey Queen Brenda Brown, aka the Chocolate Child. How are you? Hey JP, Master Teacher in the house. So while we're doing that, we're populating and we're letting this sage burn. Y'all know how we do this. Everybody share. Greetings, fam. Come on in. We're going to have an awesome time. Listen, I'm going to talk about something that's very powerful. You probably can look out there and see the title of what it is that we're going to be dealing with. Cellf Trauma Sin or Zen. There's a big dust up of that we're sinners and we're sinning. Are we really sinners and we're sinning? So we're going to need to understand what is really going on in this particular hour to be able to do what it is that we've been designed to do. So I just kind of wanted to just slow it down. I see you, Carolyn Brown. How you doing, homegirl? I just wanted to kind of slow it down just a little bit and kind of bring about some justifications of some things that I've said and stated in the truth session. And this is just a one-on-one time that we can ask questions and we can kind of go just a little bit farther and delve into some things and talk about some things and get us out of this realm of fantasy and misconception and deception and misdirection. Okay? So we can get us out of that. But let's just take a minute and let's just share. right? I know some are still getting off work, but I kind of come in because I know we have a late crowd. The family have a number of things that they're doing, and they kind of come in a little bit late. So this is kind of why I kind of picked this particular time right now. Of course, today is Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. Let's burn a little bit more sage, and let's deal with vibration. Let's change the vibration. I'm going to sound a bowl, kind of releasing our spirits, kind of wake up everybody, kind of get everybody to come into the session. Of course, our church, hey, Sister Rhonda, our church people are spooked. Pastors are saying, hey, sage is of the devil. You can't use that and da, 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 da. But if you really take your scholarship far enough and research what sage really is, you understand what the benefits are, and that it's applicable to any group of people, any kind of religious people who chooses to use it. Sage cannot be anything but what it is. Sage cannot change its nature and say, oh, I'm not sage because someone wants to use dark energy with me. It doesn't work like that. That's ignorance. That's someone that is ignorant of how things operate in the universe, how organic things really operate in the universe. And we really need to educate ourselves and not make a fool and an ass out of ourselves because we are religious. Again, religious people are going to make choices and decisions based off of religion. And again, religion again, also is going to be that which is absent of science. If you place science back into religion, then religion automatically becomes spirituality, because science actually proves what the spirit is and what the spirit is doing. That's what science does. That they come together. Energy and matter, they're interrelated. And because they're interrelated, when they come together and copulate, meaning the invisible and the visible, come together and copulate, they create mass. They're able to cause something to manifest in the cosmos or in the matrix, or where we currently reside, that we call Earth or Eretz, or the universe. So we're going to have to learn to take our scholarship far enough to not try to condemn someone, because condemning is different than judgment. Condemning is different. And let me put this out here, because I wanted to do this in a session, but I didn't get an opportunity to get to it. But I want to put this out here so you can really begin to see this. Those that will come in later or watch later, they'll be able to catch up on this. It's going to be very powerful. I'm slowing this all the way down because I really want us to talk back. I really want us to get out here on the timeline and really chat it up and talk about some things that really need to be talked about in terms of where we at. So, but let me get to condemnation and judgment, and then I'm going to get to Sunday. I'm going to get to yesterday for some, okay? Let me pull this up. No, you're not what I want. No. Give me just a second here, fam. Here we go. All right. Let's start with judgment first, because this is very important, because people are always saying, where you can't judge me, don't judge me. But they actually really don't understand what it is that they're saying, because that's incorrect. You want judgment to come forth, right? Judgment is not a bad thing. Judgment is a good thing. And let me show you why. Look at the definition of this. And again, as I continue to share, and I share with the family, what I always try to get you all to understand is that you have to take your scholarship far enough to understand what is really going on. Okay. All right. So let's look at judgment. If you can see that, let me know that you can see it. Okay. Those thumbs in the air, do some emojis, do something. Okay. Right. Okay. As you all know, I keep notes everywhere. Okay. So let's look at judgment, right? And we'll get back to the sounding board. We'll sound it again too. Okay. Let's look at this. Let's look at the term judgment. When you look at it, one, it says, listen, the mental ability to perceive and distinguish relationships. This is judgment. Judgment means the mental ability to perceive and distinguish relationships. So you don't want to tell a person, oh, please don't judge. No, you want them so that they can distinguish, so that they can perceive. Perception is everything. It's how you perceive things. It's how you're going to respond and react to them, correct? Okay. Let's put a little bit. That was some sage that we was burning. Now let's burn some myrrh. I wonder what they would say about myrrh. You guys have any idea what they may say about myrrh? Oh, you can't burn myrrh. It's of the devil. Okay. Anyway. Hey, KP. Hey, Kelly. How you doing? Okay. Now, judgment. One, again, mental ability to what? Perceive and distinguish what? Relationships. It means to discern, meaning that you have your senses exercised. You have the ability to see. I see you, Ronald Jackson. How you doing, brother? I see you, Dr. Lindsay. You have your senses exercised to be able to discern between good and not so good, or or we say good and evil, or good and bad. So you have your senses exercised to be able to discern. So you're discerning what is correct or what is incorrect. So again, here's judgment. Judgment is what? A good thing. Now, two, judgment means the capacity to assess situations or circumstances and draw sound conclusion. Oh my God. You see that? So it is a misnomer for people to say, don't judge. Don't judge, lest you be judged. You must judge. And this is why I'm telling you, this is why we're going to juxtaposition or juxtapose judgment and condemnation. You need to know the distinct difference between the two, so that you don't blend them and get confused. Okay? So again, look at this. One, recapping, the mental ability to perceive and distinguish relationship, meaning to discern. Two, the capacity to assess situations or circumstances and draw sound conclusion. And it also means to have what? I put it out there on the timeline for you. It also means to have good sense. So to have judgment is to have what? Good sense, and not nonsense, but to have good sense. So we need to distinguish. And I'm going to speed this up a little bit because I really have somewhere to go, because I have a bunch of information to get to. Okay? Because I really want you all to talk back. I want you all to really, really, really get into this. Exactly. You're right. You're right. You're right, Kelly. Okay. Now, the third thing it means, the faculty of being able to make critical distinction and achieve a balanced viewpoint, meaning, again, discernment. Now, look at this. It doesn't mean that what you're going to be judging or looking at or talking about is going to be one-sided. You're not going to look at a person and say, oh, they're just so mean and so nasty and so da-da-da-da. But just see, allows you to see to dual personality or the polarity of a person, right? So once you're able to make the proper assessment, the proper judgment, the proper call. And then you'll know how to really deal with that person or to deal with a relationship because you know both the pros and the cons. You know both the left and the right, right? So once you know that, then it gives you more information and material in which to draw from, in which to make choices and decisions from, right? So in other words, we don't go off half-cocked. All right, so that's judgment. Okay, so now let's look at condemnation. Okay. Excuse me here, 1 second, fam. So we got to look at excuse me 1 second, fam. How's everybody this Monday? It's a beautiful Monday, isn't it? I had an awesome and amazing day today. And it is great to see you all in the room on this evening. And I'm asking you, if you have the time to just kind of sit down and take a load off and come into the session, you will enjoy yourself. Because we're really going to enlighten ourselves on this evening. Okay, now, okay. Excuse me 1 second, fam. My computer likes to oftentimes do its own thing. Okay. Okay, let me grab this for you. Just a second here. Trying to you all know how technology is when you okay, let me restart this, fam. Everybody okay? Put them emojis out there for me. Okay, now let's see if we can get this pulled back up. Okay. My computer is trying to tell me that hey, KP. I tell you what, I'm going to get this out here for you all, but let me go ahead on and tell you what it is. When we talk about condemnation versus judgment, hopefully, Master Teacher, if you have those notes, greetings, Queen KP. Hey, Jason, Master Teacher, if you have those notes, will you please stick, hey, Amos, stick that out there, please. There you go. Will you please stick condemnation out there? I want Master Teacher's going to stick condemnation out there for you all, and then I'm going to read through it until I can get this computer minds back up and running correctly. I have no idea what it's doing. Okay. Let me do this. Let me restart this, but we're going to deal with condemnation. Okay. Can y'all see that? Master teacher, have you put that out there yet? Condemnation? He might be having the same problem that I am. Let me restart this, but we're going to deal with condemnation. Okay. Okay. Please put that out there. Put condemnation out there, please, because I can't see it. Okay. Now, when we again, we're dealing with judgment and then we're dealing with condemnation. Let me hit judgment real quick while we kind of get this set up so we can get to condemnation. Again, judgment. One is what? The mental ability to perceive and distinguish relationships, meaning what? To discern. Now, two, it means what? The capacity to assess situations or circumstances and draw what? Sound conclusion, meaning to have what? Good judgment. Okay? Or good sense. Now, the third thing that it means, and third and lastly that I cited was the faculty of being able to make critical distinctions and achieve a balanced viewpoint. So it means to be able to critically critique a thing so that you can end up at a balanced viewpoint, not lopsided, one-sided, not that you see an individual in one light, but you see them in the totality of the whole spectrum of who they are and what it is that they do. Okay. So again, judgment is a good thing. So now let us come back to what? Condemnation. Right? Okay. Let us come back to condemnation. Now, number one, I see you, Gary Taylor. Number one, number one, condemnation means to express an unfavorable or adverse judgment on. I say that again. Listen to this. Condemnation means to express an unfavorable or adverse judgment on. Also meaning indicate strong disapproval of or to censor. So when you begin to look at condemnation versus judgment, then you can begin to realize why there's a difference between judgment and condemnation, because condemnation is trying to express an unfavorable, adverse judgment of something, an adverse judgment, not a balanced judgment, but an adverse judgment, meaning that it's trying to bring something negative about you. So that's totally a difference, right? Right? Okay. Master teacher, I know you can hear me. You can hear me now. Just restart the system and we'll just work from there. Just restart the system and we'll just work from there. Okay. Now, okay, look at this. So to express an unfavorable adverse judgment on or indicate strong disapproval of or to censor. Now, look at this. They disapprove of you. And then not only will they disapprove of you, but they will censor you. They will determine what it is that you are able to display, articulate, or bring about. Isn't that something? So that's condemnation. And if you'll notice, mostly that is what people do. They condemn. They do not judge. Because if you judge, then it's going to be balanced. You're going to find a way to cause things to work in the most admirable way. Not in an adverse way, but it's going to be positive. Judgment is going to bring about a positive rendition of what needs to happen. Whereas condemnation is going to create negative energy, create a negative environment, create negative behavior. This is the purpose of condemnation. Okay, so let us be careful on that. Let us be careful in terms of judgment and condemnation. Let us not say, well, don't judge me. No, please do. I need you to do that. I need you to make an assessment, because if you make the right assessment and if you give me the information, then I can make the right adjustments. If you make the right assessments, then I can make the right adjustments. Okay, now the number two thing, or the second thing it means to pronounce to be guilty. See there? See, judgment is not pronouncing you to be guilty. However, it has that component in part to it, but it is not in an unbalanced state. But check this out. To pronounce to be guilty, or sentence to punishment. To sentence to punishment. So when you get into what's happening, let me see this, because see, I know I have a lot of pastors. I still go in and out of ministries. I do. But here's the thing. When you get into the church, when you get into the centers, when you get into the assemblies, because you got churches, assemblies, centers, you know what I'm saying, temples, mosques, you got all of these that is dealing with religion. But what they have a tendency to do is condemn you. They tell you that you're going to hell, you're going to burn in the fire, you're going to be punished. There's something bad that is going to come upon you. No, nothing. Those things are not going to happen. Those things only come into a level of existence because you spoke them. However, it doesn't mean that it is a reality. It is a false reality. And what you're trying to do is get me to buy into what it is that you're saying. So let's be clear on that. Now, the third thing, to give grounds or reasons for convicting or censoring. Condemnation is to give grounds or reason for convicting or censoring. You have to understand something about punishment. Punishment isn't serving to correct things. Punishment is serving to injure you, to traumatize you, to hurt you. That's the purpose of punishment. See, there's a difference between punishment and correction. Correction is to show you the error of what you may have been engaged in. Right? Of what you may have been engaged in. But punishment is to serve as to hurt you. To inflict some kind of punishment upon you, or to inflict some type of violence or abuse upon you, or hurt upon you, without the intent to bring about correction. You have to really understand that there's a difference between judgment and condemnation. And it also means, the fourth thing it means to, and here comes the word judge. It means to judge or pronounce to be unfit for use or service. It means to judge or to, excuse me. Okay. Or to pronounce guilty, to be guilty, sentenced to punishment, to give grounds or reasons for convicting or censoring, to judge or pronounce to be unfit for use of service. And the fifth thing, it means to force into a specific state of activity. Censoring forces you into or condemnation forces you into a specific state of activities, which means that it is a forced option. It gives you a forced option, which means that there is no way out. I see you, Arlo Glegon. Which means that there is no way out. It forces you into a certain behavior so that it can condemn you for doing it. This is what it's actually saying. And the seventh and final thing that I cited in terms of condemnation and judgment, condemnation means to declare incurable. Incurable. Condemnation, meaning there is no healing for you. Isn't that something? It is saying that there is no healing for you. And again, let's get at this. Cellf Trauma Sin or Zen. Let's get at this. Now, where I want to go with this is, check this out. Give me a few minutes. And here's what I want y'all to do, fam. Okay. My system is back up and running now. Okay, let me look on the timeline and then we're going to go somewhere. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. All righty. Greetings. Okay. Yes. Okay. Timing is everything. Kelly says, timing is everything. I was purpose to see this. I'm studying this same thing and you're on it. Okay. 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 Dr. Lindsay says, punishment builds resentment as well. And it does. And it does. Hey, Roundtree, what's going on, man? All right. KP, what's up? Okay. Let's do this. Now, here's what I want you all to understand something. Now, yesterday was okay, right? And this is very important. Please don't think that I'm trying to in any way demise or sabotage or try to hurt anyone or try to get you from or to leave your belief system. But here's what happened yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, correct? Right? Everybody? Yesterday was Sunday? Okay. Right. Now, how many of us really understand Sunday and what we're doing? Now, see, this is, I have to bring us here to get us to sin or zen. Okay? Just a second here, fam. Okay. Now, Sunday worship. Everybody go to church when you go to church? Sunday. Right? Do you have any idea why you go to church on Sunday? You say, well, we go to church on Sunday to worship. Right? That's why go to church on Sunday to worship. And the question is, okay, if I'm going to church on Sunday to worship, who am I going to worship? If I'm going to church on Sunday, okay? Now, you have to understand Sunday. If you look at the word, it's a compound word, right? It's a compound word, and you get the word sun, right? So Sunday actually is the day of the sun. Sunday, okay, can't see the board, okay. Okay, Sunday, can you see that now, JP? Okay. Sunday is the day of the what? The sun. And if you can't see it, I'm pretty sure you probably can hear me. Sunday is the day of the what? Sun. Right? Sunday is the day of the sun. So we go to Sunday worship. But when you go to Sunday worship, they tell you that you're worshiping the S-O-N. They're telling you you're worshiping the S-O-N, right? Now, please stick with me. This is important. This is important. And if you stick with me and follow me, you'll get what I'm saying to you. And you'll know that I'm not trying to be derogatory or demeaning or trying to hurt anybody. If you just stick with me, I'm giving you some information. I'm teaching. I'm a teacher. I understand exactly what it is that I'm saying to you and what I'm trying to get you to see. Okay? All right. Okay. Now, so when you go to Sunday worship, they tell you you're worshiping the S-O-N. No, you're not. Okay? You're actually worshiping the S-U-N, the sun. That's why you go on Sunday, because it's Sunday worship. And this is important to understand this. you can try to justify it any kind of way that you want to, but it's called Sunday worship. It is called the venerable day of the Sunday worship. And let me show you now. Hold up, church. Let me help you out, so you can understand what it is that you're doing, and you won't do it. You won't be doing it out of ignorance. Okay, I hear you, KP. Okay, so you won't be doing it out of ignorance. So at the end of the benediction, y'all know what they say? Amen. Or you say, amen. Amen. Preach, pastor. Preach. Do you know who that is? There's variations of the name, but they're all the same. Amen. Amen. That's Ra. Do you know who Ra is? Ra is the Son God, or Son of God. So, church, y'all don't understand. Listen, the reason why I'm telling you all this is very important, because you're going to have to come out of ignorance to have an impact upon anything and anybody. You're going to continue to get the same results. You keep getting the same results. Everybody keep coming in with the same situation, same problems. Everybody keep praying for the same thing. Everybody keep going back in their closets saying that I need to get over this. I need to be able to beat this. I need to get around. You're not going to get over anything, beat anything until you understand who self is. Hello? Right? Now, let me tell you all this. I was on the circuit for about 20 some years, going in and out of some of the largest churches, having some of the greatest movements. Listen, I got some fruit everywhere. Got people with stuff put back in their bodies, legs grew back the same length, people, all kinds of things. People got healed of hardness, all kind of things. All of those things happened. I understand that. I understand that to the fullest. But what I do understand is that you can only go so far in ignorance. You cannot get the fullness and the totality of what it is and who you are and how it should be really transpiring on a higher level. Okay. I promise you, I'm going to talk to you. If you give me a few minutes and hang in here with me, I can give you some information that'll cause you to turn into yourself and become yourself and do some real powerful things. Okay. All right. Now, so here it is. You don't understand it. That you call the Son. When you say amen, you're saying Ra. Aman Ra. You're saying Ra. You're calling Ra. You're calling on the Son. And let me express and explain to you why you have a need to call on the Son. The reason why you have a need to call on the Son is that the Son is connected to us and we're connected to the Son. The plasma that you have in your body is the same plasma that the Son has in it. Hello? The plasma that you have in your computer is the same plasma you have in your body. That is the same plasma that is in the Son. Now, we have in our body what we refer to as what? Melanin. And most of you all, I know because you're astute in this room, we have melanin. Melanin is what? Generated by who? The what? The Son. By Haman Ra. So when you invoke Haman Ra, what you're saying is increase my energy. Our melanin is our God energy. That energy that is secreted in our guts. Not only is it secreted in our guts, but it is secreted in our pineal gland or our pineal gland. It is secreted there in a small amount as well. What does it do? Well, what it does is it generates the energy in our body. Not only that, but it gives us the complexion that we have in our skin tone, in our eyes, and of course in our blood. It does a number of things. Listen to me, family. This is very important for you to begin to understand your God nature and the God conscious of who you are. Now, also the Son serves to be a battery. It's like a battery to us. It gives us vitamin D. It gives us vitamins that we need in our body. You can be sluggish, tired, sick. You can go and stand in the sun for a certain period of time, and it will heal you. Listen to me. And it will heal you. Let me give you an example. Have y'all ever noticed our elders? When our elders begin to age and they reach a certain age, have you ever noticed that they always rise with the sun and set with the sun? The reason why they rise with the sun is that they sun gaze, or they fellowship with the Son of God. They fellowship because why? It creates melanin in them and give them energy, right? Because what is it doing? It is actually giving them energy and healing their joints, because their joints are worn and tired. But what the sun does, it regenerates them. So they're out there rocking in the sun and humming and singing, creating what? Vibration. It is creating a vibration. And because we are yet still young and we don't really need all of that, we really don't tap into it. We don't tap into the source of it. And as a result of it, we're aging quicker and sooner and faster than we're supposed to, because we have a lack of knowledge. And that lack of knowledge is keeping us ignorant. What is ignorance? Ignorance is keeping us in darkness. What is darkness? Darkness is when you're not enlightened. In other words, the lights have not been turned on. Doesn't mean the devil. Doesn't mean that you're in a bad place and everybody bad. Doesn't mean that. It just simply means that you haven't heard that thing that has turned on the necessary light to get you to see. To see, right? Okay. So, to get you to see. So now I'm saying this to take us to somewhere else. Now, I need you to follow me. Okay. Now, as I said to you all, I'm not here to try to proselytize you, to try to save you, to do none of those things. Nope. I'm here to get you to save yourself. Because ultimately, guess what? That's the only one and only someone that's going to be able to save you. I know that we've been taught. I know. Just listen to me. Don't get angry with me. Don't shut me off. Just kind of listen. I know that we've been taught since we were children that, hey, Jesus saves, right? Now you all know. Let me do this again. If you were in the truth session, if you weren't in the truth session, please go to my page and catch the last truth session. And I was talking about the letter what? The letter J, right? We were talking about the letter J. And this is very important because the pastors that are teaching, you have to be challenged. You have to be challenged to upgrade and update your information so that it reveals how to heal. Okay. So that it reveals how to heal. So now, we all understand, if you've done any kind of research, if you're any type of student of the scriptures, of the Bible, or any type of literature that deals with that, you understand that there is no J in the Hebrew. Right? You understand that there's no J in the Hebrew. And then you also have to understand that there's no J in the what? In the Greek, right? So, then you have to say that, okay, Jesus walked over 2,000 what? Years ago, right? Walked over 2,000 years ago, and let's just say the letter J didn't come in English language until what? 500 years ago in the English language, right? So then there's a discrepancy. Then there is something that's wrong. That you have to and you must fix, right? Correct? That you must fix. Now we kind of talked about that, but I want to kind of to get it back to you. And are we able to see that? Okay. Okay. Are we able to see that? Okay. All right. Let me see. Okay, let me recap this again. The letter J, there's no letter J in the Hebrew, Greek, and the letter J didn't come into the English language until what, about 500 years ago? And the one they say Jesus has supposedly walked what, 2,000 years ago, right? So that doesn't make any sense. Okay, the writing is fuzzy. Yeah, give me just a second, family. Let me wipe this lens off because I really want you all to see this. And I think it's the lens, and if it ain't, and if it isn't the lens. Okay, how's it going? How we looking now? How we looking now, fam? Okay, give me just a second. See, when you get into this kind of information, here come the technical problems. Okay, is it better? Let me kind of slow down my movements just a little bit because I know sometimes. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Can you all see that now? Are we okay now? We good? That's better? Okay, that's better? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right, give me just a second. Okay, now, so we see that, okay, here's the letter J. I know I'm being repetitive and redundant. I have no idea how in the hell these words are backwards. Hold on one second. That lets you know that we got somebody playing with us. Okay, let's see. Is it still backwards? I guess they want me to. Okay. Isn't that something? Is it right now? Yeah. Give us just a second, fam. You're gonna have to. Yeah, just and then just. There we go. She'll switch around. There we go. All right. Okay. Now we probably can get that J in there right. Okay. Now that's how I was. Okay. There we go. All right. Now y'all get a chance to hang out with me. Y'all, yeah. Hey, Lou Legend. Lou Legend is in the house. Family, take a minute and share. All right? Because this information, it's important. Okay. All right. Now, let me get back to this J and let's speed this up. Okay, the letter J. Here's what we understand about the letter J. The letter J didn't come into the English language until what? 500 years ago, right? Okay, now, the person that you're calling Jesus, right, walked over what? 2,000 years ago, right? I mean, that's what it said, right? Walked over 2,000 years ago. But if the J didn't come into the language to 500 years ago, and there was no J in the Hebrew, nor Greek, then that person could have never existed. You got to stick with me, and I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this home to you, so I can kind of open you up and get you out of the little box that you're in. You're in a box. In fact, you're in a realm that someone has put you in. Let me ask y'all a question. How many of you have watched The Matrix Reload? And if you did, if you remember, Neo was sent to a place that he couldn't get out of. He was boxed in. He couldn't get out of that place. Well, that place for us is called the theta realm. And I need you to hear me, because what people are going to say is, oh, you're just being too scientific. That has too much to do with science. It has to be more spiritual and spirituality. But what you have to understand is religion is that which is absent of science. If you put science back into religion, then you'll get spirituality. Because science proves that the spirit world exists. Okay? So I need you to kind of just stick with me. Let me look on the timeline. Okay. Sister Rhonda says some pastors purposely continue to feed the congregation the lies because the truth will literally take their breath away. That's right. The pews will be empty. This is so true. Yes. Which is why you have to find an articulation. Yes, ma'am. It's tight, but it's right. That's right, Kelly. All right. I need y'all, I need y'all energy. I need y'all to be helping me. Come on, family. So you're in the theta realm. So when they put you in the theta realm, 7 hertz. 7 hertz. The theta realm is the lowest vibration. It's the lowest vibe that you have. It's right below your thinking, right below it, and it is your visual realm. Excuse me. Your vision realm, where you imagine things, where you have imaginations, where you have creativity. And so here it is that what's dropped down in there is a name, Jesus, okay? That's not a real name. But because you have brain power, you can bring it into a reality. You can bring it into a family. Trust me, you can give it a reality. But it'll be a false reality. It'll be a false reality. It won't be a real reality. And you can only sustain it for a period of time. It only works for a period of time. It is not sustainable. You have to keep coming back to get it. You have to keep coming back to talk to people. You have to keep coming back to get prayed for. You got to keep coming back to have hands laid on you. You got to keep coming back. It's not sustainable. Why isn't it sustainable? Why isn't Jesus sustainable? Because it is false. It is a false reality given to you as a child. I know that sounds woo, but it's true because you are in the theta realm. And if you don't know what that is, please look it up. Don't make a judgment without looking that up, right? So you can assess it right. Judge it and assess it right, okay? I see you, Pastor Brown. Glad to have you in the house. Okay, so now once we find out that that's a false reality, then what we're actually doing is we're using 25% of our brain power to give it a reality. To give it a reality. To give it a reality, excuse me. To give it a reality. You're using 25% of your brain power because our whole physiology, anatomy, body uses energy. We're energy. But our brain uses the largest part of the energy, which is 25%. That's a fact. You can look it up. This is why it is so important to understand that we have the superhighway now. And what the superhighway does is allow us to fact check, right? What you just said is not correct. See, but we keep teaching and preaching what is incorrect. And when people fact check it and say, hey, there is something wrong with that, that's a little bit off, we say, well, you just got to believe by faith. Well, how can faith make something that is infactual become true? When you teach me, then the truth is the only thing that'll make me free. Or truth is the only thing that'll set me free. Then how is it then that when I challenge that which is untrue, then it becomes something else? Oh, this is the only way we're going to heal ourselves and bring ourselves out of the dilemma and the problems and the sort of circumstances and situations that we're in, family, as human and women. When I say human and women, I'm talking about black and brown men and women. I'm not talking about any other ethnicity, because all other ethnicities are not humanity. Well, why do you say that, Apostle? I told you tonight is going to be just a talk back night. I just jumped out here. My people been on me. So humanity, hue, right? Hue means what? You said it, color, right? Hue, I'm sorry, y'all keep sitting on my hair. That's why I keep pulling it. Hue means what? Color. Color what? Man. So humanity means color man, but here's the key. Here's the thing. When humanity is talking about the color man, it is talking about the dominant black and brown man and woman. It's not talking about any other ethnicity, because we're the only ethnicity that has dominant genetics, dominant physiology, dominant hair. Our hair is dominant. Our hair is so dominant that, listen, they don't even want us to wear it a certain way. We can't even wear our hair a certain way. Listen, every other ethnicity that does not have hair like lamb wool, they have fur. Fur. They don't have hair. They have fur, which is why they're able to have parasites in their heads, like lice and other types of bugs that will get in their hair. If you notice, the only other mammals on the planet that has those are like animals in the wild, like bears and different types of woolly beasts like that, right? Okay, stick with me, and I'm not shot potting. I'm trying to get us to a place in our mind, to get us out of that box, in our mind where we've been placed in that box, and that box is that theta ram. Okay, now, so again, I'm not here to proselytize anybody. I'm getting ready to show you what has been done to us as a people, which is why I'm trying to get us to either self. We're going to get to self, or we're going to deal with Zen or sin, right? We're going to deal with the trauma of that. Okay. Okay. Let me put something out here for you all, fam. I didn't get an opportunity to get these to the apostle. I think he's missing these. Okay. Hey, Winsome. Okay. Now, what did I do with them? I did something with them. Excuse me, fam. Oh, there we go. Everybody okay? Y'all good? Okay. That's right, KP. Get out the box. Okay. All right. Now, I'm not trying to proselytize you. I'm getting ready to show you what has happened to us, how we've been programmed. There are programs in us. 5% of the time we are conscious. 95% of the time we're running programs. We're running programs out of our subconscious. Out of our subconscious. Only 5% of the time, listen to me, family. Only 5% of the time are we conscious. Everything else is running from here, the subconscious. The subconscious is nothing more than programs. And we're programmed from 0 to 7 years of age. It is the RAM, the theta RAM. The theta RAM, subconscious RAM, 95% of what we utilize there are programs, which means that from 0 to 7 years of age, guess what's happening? We're being programmed or we're being hypnotized. There are behaviors that are being downloaded within our programs or into our subconscious. So, in other words, what really happens is that it is habitual. You're actually operating from habit. You're not operating from being conscious because you're only conscious 5% of the time. The conscious RAM is the creative RAM. This is where we create things at. Right here, and this RAM is our creative RAM. This is the RAM that lets us be, God. This is the RAM. And it's only, look at it, 5% of the time. Only 5% of the time are we being creative or being as gods. Why? Because we don't understand the programming and how we have been programmed. And what I'm sharing with you all is that there are programs that are running in us that are obsolete. They're no good. They hold no value. They're only serving to keep us in bondage. They're only serving to keep us dumbed down. They're only serving to keep us ignorant. They're only serving to keep us believing that somehow we are sinners. We're the scourge of the earth. We've been shapen and molded into sin, and we have no value. And thusly, we're going to hell. If we don't repent, if we don't get ourselves together, if we don't call on God, we're lost. Let me show y'all something. This is why this is very important to really understand how to study and take your scholarship far enough to understand what is really going on and what is really happening. Okay? So please just stick with me. Okay? And tell somebody that the one man is throwing down. Okay. Hey, Tasha. DJ Tasha Beats. Oh, man, that girl is bad. That's one of the Regime Squad DJs, man. The girl is awesome. She can spin those ones and twos. Okay. Now, where am I going with this? Okay. Where am I going with this? Okay. Now, what I'm trying to get us to understand is that 5% of the time we're conscious. The other 95% of the time we're running programs. It's what has been downloaded in you. Excuse me, fam. Give me just a second here. Okay. Now, okay, again, and I'm being redundant, and I'm really being redundant because I'm repeating it so that I can start to change your programming. Okay? Hey, Marsha. So I can start to change your programming. Okay. This is that ain't so. It's not one. Okay. Okay. So again, back to this. 95% of what we do every day comes from the subconscious. And the thing that you have to understand again about the subconscious, that it doesn't understand time. Whatever happens in the subconscious seem like it just happened. Okay? That's how the subconscious works. It seems like it just happened because it doesn't understand time. Okay? So, these programs are running in your mind, and guess what? Nobody is manning them. There's nobody there that's telling it to do what it's doing. It is out of habit. It just comes into play when you're no longer focused or conscious. This is working. Your subconscious is working and causing things to happen habitually. For example, when we're a child, we learn to walk, right? We don't need to learn to walk anymore, right? So automatically every day you get up and you know how to walk. Bam, 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 bam. So you don't have to do that anymore. That's a program that's running in your subconscious. It's a program that says, yeah, we need to walk. So, bam, it just sends a signal for you to do what? Get up and start walking. It's a program. So this is how we're programmed. So when we learn how to drive, right? You don't have to go and learn how to drive again. You just drive. It's habitual. It becomes habitual, right? You just get out there, start the car up, and drive off because you know how to what? Drive. You're not conscious of it. You're not focusing on it. It is coming out of your subconscious. That is a program. You have programmed yourself to be able to do that so that it can mend itself without you having to focus on it. Because if you have to focus on it, you're not going to be able to get other things done. Your 5% is used to be creative. It is your creative RAM. It is your wishful thinking RAM. It is the RAM that you use to create your day, to create how you want things to happen for you, to create how you want your relationships and how you want those things to flow during the course of the day, and you're focused on them things. That is your conscious RAM. But however, your programmed RAM is filled full of programs. And most of the time, 70% of the time, they are negative. And the reason why they are negative is because you're living out something that you got from somewhere else. Most of what we're carrying doesn't belong to us. We learned it when we were children. We learned it from our parents. We learned it from the environment. We learned it for those that were in authority. So we're running the programs that have been downloaded within us. What we have to do now is rewrite the programs that were what? Deposited within us. Make sense? Is it starting to come around for you? Okay. All right. I'm trying to get you all pulled up because my Apple is going south for me again. Okay. Okay. Give me just a second, fam. Okay, son, you're gonna have to read them off. Do I have any questions out there?
No, sir. Yes, comments.
You got comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you read that to me, please? Because I can't.
Roger that. Let's go back up just a little bit. Okay, you seen where Pastor Brown joined?
Yes.
Wilson Brown joined.
Okay. Wilson Brown. Who?
Winston Brown.
Yes, Winston Brown. Okay.
Dr. Lindsay says, suggest watching Dr. Bruce Lipton on YouTube. He talks about the theta realm.
Yes, yes, please. Dr. Bruce Lipton, if you're unfamiliar with him, you really need to look him up. He really lays out that theta realm for you to really understand what it does. It really begins to reveal to you certain realms and levels of information that you don't even know exist, that we've never been told, that we've never been exposed to if you haven't studied.
Pastor Derek Brown said exactly right.
Yes.
Sister Rhonda Moore, speak Bible.
Okay.
Sister Rhonda Moore, we have in Tana. Sister Kimberly Purdue, yes, get out the box. Okay, then you post to see for the, okay. You have Wali Omar Abdul
Rahim, yeah. Assalamu alaikum, Maki.
Tasha.
Yes, that's DJ. Yes.
Yes, I love to learn.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay. Go a little bit more. Brother Bobby Slaughter is in the house.
Okay, Bobby G. Peace, bro.
Brother Ronald Jackson said deep.
Yes, sir.
Sister Rhonda Moore, this is the last one, said the things we need to unlearn were repeated over and over again. So it sounds, or it stands to reason that we need the things we must relearn repeated over and over again.
Okay, over and over again. We need those things repeated. Great, awesome.
That was the last one.
Okay, let me see if I can get over here and get some information to you guys. Give me just a second, fam. Let me pull this up. Because my Apple, it's going to make me put it in the trash. Okay, here's what I want. I'm not trying to proselytize you. I'm just showing you. I'm not trying to deflect you, defer you from, what you do. I'm just giving you the information and you decide. Okay, now, here's what I want to put out here for you all to take a look at. Okay. Y'all, please forgive me. I'm just having some technical difficulties here. But we got this here. We're going to work it. Okay. Okay. Can y'all see that? If you can see that, go give me some emojis. And I had to go to a different computer. Okay. All right. Y'all, please share. All right. Now, if you look at this, this is Sifar Tehillim La Yahweh. It is formally referred to as Psalms. Psalms, it's going to be Psalms 51 and 5. And I need to bring you here because this is part of our programming. We've been programmed with this. When you go to the church, this is what they say. Okay, look at this. Now, this is what, when you go to the church, this is what they say. They say, behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. This is what they program us with. They repeat it over and over and over again. It is a cadence. It is a cadence. It comes from a Malik Dawid or King David. It comes from him when he had committed a transgression. So what he said, this applied to him and not to nobody else. But what does the church do out of ignorance? The church tries to apply it to everyone's life because in their thinking, we are all sin and falling short of the glory of God. So therefore, then we must all be shapen in iniquity, and in sin did our mothers conceive us. This is a misnomer. This is very important to understand. And if you look at the word sin there, it is the Hebrew word hayet and hatah, which actually means miss the goal or path of right and duty. This is all it is talking about. Look at this. It is mean that you missed the goal, man. You didn't get it. You didn't get it right. You got on the wrong path. You missed the mark. You didn't hit what you were aiming at. And then look what it says. It says to do what? To miss oneself. Oh, wait a minute. Sin means to what? Miss oneself, lose oneself. It means to miss yourself. In other words, it means to misplace who you are. See, if you're talking about sin meaning that you are not in tune with yourself. You have misplaced yourself. You see? And it goes on to say, look at this, wander from the way to bring into guilt or condemnation or punishment. Remember, we talked about condemnation. We talked about punishment, right? Isn't that what we talked about? Yes. So if you listen to this, you are already condemned. You already going to hell. You are shaping in iniquity, and you are born into sin. Your mama conceived you into sin, which means that you are no good right out the bat. That's right. Right out the womb, you are no good. You see, listen to what that's doing to you. That's negative. Remember what I told y'all? 70% of the time, guess what? Our thoughts are negative. 70% of the time, our thoughts are negative. look at this. And what this is doing is fostering that. It is enforcing that. It is giving credence to the 70% of negativity. This particular scripture that tells you that you are shaping in iniquity and you were born in sin, coming out your mother's womb, which means right off the bat, as a baby, as a child, you are of no value. You are nothing more than a sinner. You are of no good, and you deserve to be punished. This is what is being said. If you listen to what is being said, and if you're preaching and teaching and ministering this, you're traumatizing people. You're abusing them. This is abuse. Now, let's look at this. You don't, let me give you something else here. You don't come into, okay. Watch this. Let me show you what happens. When you send that, start send those emojis. Somebody, y'all share. Okay, now you don't come into sin. You actually come into Zen. When you come through your mother's womb, you're not coming into sin, you're coming into Zen. Hello. Stick with me. I'm gonna get this to you. Look at what Zen means. Zen means enlightenment can be attained through meditation, self-contemplation, and intuition. Intuition is your God realm, rather than through faith and devotion. Zen is enlightenment can be attained through meditation, self-contemplation, and intuition rather than through faith and devotion. So in other words, Zen means to come into self. So when you Zen, you're actually coming into self, into being. You're coming into being. That's what you're doing. Your self is coming into being. Right? Rather than through believing in some God or having some faith about something, it means to know yourself. So when you come through your mother's womb out into this cosmos or universe, you're coming into yourself. You're coming into Zen and not sin. You're getting ready to come into self-actualization. You're getting ready to come into contemplation. You're getting ready to come into meditation, into this realm, coming out of the womb of your mom, not coming into sin. Not coming into a place where you're going to be punished because you were shaping in iniquity and you were conceived in sin. That doesn't make sense. You have to listen to what you're saying. We have these cliches, we have these sayings, this regurgitated information and messages that are passed around by the preachers. But what you should be saying is you need to come into Zen. In other words, you need to come into self, come into self-actualization. Because when you find self, then and only then can you find God. Because God is on the inside. The kingdom of heaven is on the inside. It'll be the only time that you can do that is when you come into Zen and not sin. Don't let nobody tell you that. Don't let nobody tell you a sinner. No, you're not a sinner. You're a zenner. I zen. I come into full self-actualization. I turn myself into myself, and I become myself, and I express myself as God because I'm having that experience here in the universe. See, one of the things that the religious leaders do not want you to ever be able to actualize is you becoming God. Because if you ever become God, then you will become self-expressive. You will have the ability to express yourself in any given situation and set of circumstances as God to bring about a creative remedy and solution to whatever may be confronting you, your family, and whoever else. You'll have the ability to do so. And they will no longer be able to control your mind and what? Program you. They understand the programming. They understand what to say. They understand what cadence to use to get you to respond and behave a certain way. But when you zen and come into self, then you begin to realize that I am created to be me and to be expressive and to be God, having an experience in this realm without the control of others seeking to condemn me, punish me, and send me to some place where I could never ever be free again. That's ludicrous. That's trauma. Hello, somebody. That's trauma. Now, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get up off you. Also, shit. Okay. Okay. Now what we okay, so we found that we are not a what? A sinner, right? We're not a sinner. We found out that we are a zenner. Wow. Isn't that something? That's powerful. We found out that we are zenner. Then also we need to understand something else. We need to understand that we are a center. Yeah. We have to find out that we are a center, right? Center. Okay. Women, sisters, mothers, those of you that have bore children, where do the children come from, right? They come from the womb, right? Womb. Come from the womb, right? And if they're coming from the womb, they're coming from the what? The center. The center. The center of you, right? Because you have to open your legs and allow the baby to come from the center. So we are centers and not sinners. We are centers. We come from the center of the universe. We come from the center of the womb. And if you understand anything about mathematics, whichever way direction you move in, you're always moving from the center. We are centers and not sinners. We are centers. We come from the center of the womb of our mom to become zeners, to self-actualize or to come into being or come into existence or come into what? Consciousness. Conscious, right? Consciousness. To come into consciousness. To come into awareness. To come into the fact that we are real and we're having real thoughts and we're having real creative activities, that we have the ability to be innovative and to create. not procreate, to create. We're creating. When you invent something, that's a creation. That's not procreated, that's created. You created that where? From your mind. From where? From your womb. From the womb. Everything comes from the center of the womb. If you look at the word womb, it is a Hebrew word called batan or batan, which means the mind. The womb means the mind. Your mind is a womb. You have thoughts, ideals, concepts, dreams, visions. Where? In your mind. And where do you birth them from? From your mind, which is a womb. The womb of the mind. Where's it coming from? From the center of you. Because you are a sinner. You are a sinner. You are not a sinner. You are a sinner. You center things and bring them into focus and into being. You see, this is who you're supposed to be. See, that's the positive element of it. You've been given negativity. You've been given information that causes you to be inferior and causes you to bring about negative energy upon you, to cause stress to come upon you, to begin to destroy you, to begin to destroy your ability to think, to destroy your physiology, to destroy your organs, to destroy everything about you, because that's negative energy. We're trying to get you back to positive energy. See, the truth is going to bring you to a realm of positivity. Negativity brings you to a place of condemnation. Remember, we talked about something. We talked about this. Let me get to this and then I'm going to get up off you. Okay, now, remember we talked about the church. We talked about where do the preachers preach from? Y'all can talk to me. Where do they preach from? The what? The poor what? The pulpit, right? Compound word, which means to pull into pit. Right? Pulpit. That's in the church. It's called a pulpit. Why would you call wherever you standing and teaching somebody from the pulpit? Come on. That's negative. That's negativity. See, I know y'all gonna catch this in a minute. Now, the church always says the devil is a what? The devil is a liar. Right? Isn't that what the church say? The devil is a liar, right? Okay, now, the last I checked, who was in the pit?
The devil.
What?
The devil.
The devil is in the pit. Right? Now, the devil is a liar. Right? We know that no lie can be of the truth. So that means then that the devil is in the pit and the devil is a lie. So if you're in the pool pit, that means you are the devil. Hello, somebody. Now, the text says that if you know the truth shall make you free. And another set, it says, if you know the truth shall make you free. Right? One says it's a set and one says that it should make you free. But the only thing that can do that is what? Truth. Truth is the only thing that can make you free or set you free. Truth. Right? Okay. So if you're in the pulpit and you're telling me Jesus is the Savior, and we know that there's not a J in the Hebrew nor the Greek, then you're what? You're lying to me. And it says that the devil lied from the beginning. Says that the devil is the what? The father of all lies. So that means that while you're in the pulpit telling these lies, that means that you're the father of all lies, which means that you're the devil. You know that there's never been a person by the name of Jesus Christ that was ever a Messiah that ever came to save humanity. That meaning black and brown men and women. It has never happened and never will happen. And it's never going to happen outside of us doing that for ourselves. So that means that you are being disingenuous. You're prevaricating. Not only is the church, but the nation of Islam is guilty of this too, because they know that there is no one by the name of Jesus, and you're wrong for that. You are the devil, and until you change that, you remain to be the devil because you are a liar. Right? Now, okay, come on. We gonna talk. Please inbox me. You can call me. We can talk. But we ain't going to debate. We ain't going to argue. We ain't going to get into none of that. We'll have a discussion about facts. I'm speaking from facts. I'm not speaking from some unknown realm that where you tell me, well, I just have to believe it. I'm not just going to believe anything. You're going to have to prove it to me. Prove to me that that's what that is. See, because I have enough sense to know that I have enough brain power that I can create any kind of reality that I want. Doesn't mean that it's true. I can create all kind of false realities and give power to it and interact with it. I can sustain it for a certain period of time because I have God powers. But it is not sustainable. It doesn't have any substance. This is where we've been disillusioned and deceived, because there is some inkling and some sense of, wow, I'm so powerful. I made such and such and such and such happen. But it's still not real. It's not a reality. It's just a false reality. Okay, now, so we found out that, whoa, there's not a J in the Hebrew or the Greek. So this person couldn't have never existed. Okay. All right. So, okay, we done figured that out, right? Now let me show you what your own anatomy tells you. Your own genome tell you. Your own, watch this. Oh y'all. Okay. Okay. We got 23 chromes. 23 chromes. 23 chromes from male, female, right? Okay. Or haploids. Haploids. You get a haploid. You get haploids from a haploid from the female and a haploid from the male, and they come together and create a diploid. But here's what you got to do. I'm getting ready to show you something. Your genetics, if you look at them under a microscope, one is shaped like a what? And the other one is shaped like a what? The other one is shaped like an X, right? That's right. Isn't that something? So if you look at the X, if you look at the X and then if you look at the Y, guess what you get to? Hebrew and Greek. X is for Greek and the Y is for Hebrew. In your own body, you got Hebrew and Greek. Well, why you say that, Hebrew and Greek? Because those are the letters of the alphabet, or of the Hebrew alphabet. It is a Y. It is called a yod. It is called a yod. It is the smallest letter in the Hebrew alphabet, or aleph-bet. Not only that, but it is the smallest element that causes all other elements in the universe to become balanced. And when you get to the X over here in the Greek, what you're going to get to is Christos, which actually means to be black. What you're actually getting to is, if you put that as Yah, meaning God, you're actually saying within us is the black God. You're God. Your genetics tell you that you're God. Your very physiology, your very makeup tell you that you're God. But you'll sit and let somebody tell you that you're not God. Oh, you're blaspheming. God is a jealous God, and he will strike you down and he'll kill you. Let me ask you something. What good father would not want his son to emulate him and be just like him or be better than him. And if he is, and if he don't, then he's not a good father. What mother would not want her daughter to emulate her and be greater than her? If she didn't, she wouldn't be a good mother. They would be abusive parents. They would be no good for nothing parents. So the God that you all are describing in the Bible, excuse me, oh, sinuses and it's pollen. So you're saying that, jealous, I'll kill you. If you can't have no other gods before me, I'll kill you. What kind of language is that? That is a threatening, abusive language. What creator that created you would not have the ability to have the words that are fitly spoken to be able to get you to be and do who you were created to be without threatening you, to kill you, to put you in a place where you'll never be able to function ever again? What kind of parent would that be? We know that would be an abusive parent. So then you would serve something like that? You would submit yourself to something like that, where you have to appease it, where you have to be on your knees all day, every day, praying out to it and saying, oh, save me, give me this. What kind of God is that? That's not a God. That's a personality that someone has prescribed to you and programmed you and having you believing something that does not even exist. That does not even exist. To know thyself and to thy own self be true. To know thyself is the only way to know God. You're not going to know God or any other deity or any other being until thou knowest thyself. It is all about self. It is about the actualization and actualizing of self and coming into being and coming into this realm and being creative and causing things to happen where you feel the glory of God that is upon you and that is within you and that has been given unto you to function as God, because you're God in this earth realm. I just come to talk to you and encourage you. Oh, I'm going to be talking to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you because you deserve it. I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not going to put you in a place of degradation. I'm not going to put you in a place of darkness. I'm not going to hide you in dark chambers, but I'm going to shed the light, shine the light. I'm going to enlighten you. I'm going to make it lucent. I'm going to make it lucent. I'm going to make it highly enlightened for you. Because you deserve it. It's yours. It's been given unto you and no one can take it away from you. You don't have to worry about a man standing in a pulpit that hasn't actualized and coming to being yet himself, because he's still bellowing out lies. He's still the devil himself. If you want to know God, get to know yourself. Listen, I am the one. I'm the apostle. I'm the prophet. I didn't come to lie to you. No, I'm a real apostle. I'm a real prophet. I'm going to give you the truth. The truth shall make you free. That's the only thing that's going to make you free. The truth. I don't care what walk of life you in. Once you receive the truth, it makes you free. Why? Because it gives you the ability to see clear and you can see how things really appear. Once you see how things really appear, you can make the proper adjustment called judgment, and you can cause it to become aligned and balanced and create the energy that you need to be productive and not be sick, not be sore, not be hurt. Not having stress, not having toxic stress. Hello, not being traumatized, but positioning yourself to cause those things to be what they were designed to be, so that you can be progressive and productive and be positive and have that great energy, have that good energy. Listen, I'm your host with the most. I'm the one, the apostle, the prophet. As always, remember this. Hold what you got. Muse over it. Cogitate upon it. But by all means, govern yourselves accordingly. One love, eternal light, peace, prosperity, and good health. Shalom Aleichem Mishpachah. Peace be unto you, family. That's Hebrew that I spoke. Peace be unto you, family. Assalamu alaikum, meaning in the Arabic, the cousin language, peace be unto you, family, which means there's not a J there either. I love you all. Until the next time you get to hang out with the one. Peace.